Have you ever thought about moving to Florida? There are so many things to consider, but today I'll be speaking to you about why you may or may not want to move to Florida. I'm Chuck Shaver with the Shaver Group at Keller Williams Heritage Realty here in Central Florida, where I've lived for nearly 25 years. Over these years, I've traveled all over the state, and it's my hope that I can help you to make the right choice for you. I'll be addressing some advantages and some disadvantages from a local's perspective, so be sure to stick around until the end to hear about both perspectives. First, let's speak to why you would want to consider life here in the Sunshine State. Well, let's get started with the reason that most people desire to come to Florida, the sunshine. I grew up in Michigan, and the North will always be home to me. I surely miss the fall leaves, the Christmas snow, and all that good stuff, but you simply cannot beat 74 degrees and blue skies on Christmas Day. I haven't shoveled snow in over 30 years, and I'm surely not complaining. That's an advantage all by itself. Down here, after we're done eating on Thanksgiving or Christmas Day, we're usually heading to the beach or one of the lakes for some rays, to the woods for a hike, or to visit friends, maybe on their patio, something like that. The weather is just gorgeous. During the winter months, the average highs are in the mid-70s and the average lows are usually in the 50s. So we all know it's beautiful here in Florida, but so is California, and we know about the cost of living out there. Can I afford to live in Florida? Well, Florida is very affordable. In fact, we don't even have a state income tax. That's right, Florida has no state income tax. Many people move to Florida simply because without a state income tax, we get to keep more of the dollars we earn. It isn't because our government is run more efficiently or because all the sunshine just makes them shiny or happy people. It's because all the tourists that come our way and leave their tourist dollars behind. The state of Florida charges like 7% tax, and the counties also charge, around 4% on rental properties and hotel stays for less than 6 months. Given that so many of the tourist attractions are right here in Central Florida, counties close to me benefit the most. And although these tourists can sometimes be annoying, I try to remember to be thankful for them as they're single-handedly helping to keep my tax dollars low. But what about the overall cost of living? Well, Central Florida is generally an inexpensive place to live. One site I checked stated that the cost of living in Orlando was like 1% less than the national average and about 80% less than that in New York City. Here in Central Florida, the Orlando area itself and the beaches tend to have higher prices, whereas outside of Orlando, the suburbs and whatnot, the cost of real estate can really be quite a bit less. Florida has about 1,300 miles of beaches, many of which are consistently noted as the top beaches in all of the United States. If you aren't so sure about that, ask Google or TripAdvisor and you'll see. Where I live, I'm about 45 minutes from several popular beaches on the East Coast, including Daytona and New Smyrna, and I'm a little over an hour to the Cocoa Beach and the Ron John Surf Shop. I'm about 2 hours from the beaches on the West Coast, and the beaches over there are different from the East Coast beaches. They have a sunset, which is really nice, but they also may be even more beautiful than the beaches on the East Coast. If you're willing to travel a few hours, you can easily reach other beaches down in the Tampa-St. Pete area, or even down towards Naples, Marco Island, or heck, I can go on and on. My personal favorite is New Smyrna Beach. It's a small, quaint town with a mom-and-pop feel that has beautiful beaches. Next, let's talk about the tourist attractions. You may be thinking, who cares? Isn't that just for tourists? Heck no! That couldn't be further from the truth. Many of the locals here have annual passes to Disney, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and most of the locals visit these parks as part of our regular daily lives. We even get a Florida resident discount. Yes, they still can be expensive, but the weather here in Florida makes them a great thing to do year-round, especially on weekdays or periods when there's less tourists around. Other popular theme parks here in our area, the Kennedy Space Center, Busch Gardens, Legoland, Gatorland, Fun Spot, Daytona International Speedway. Again, I can go on and on. I haven't even been to all of them, and they just finished a new water park down in Orlando. Tourist attractions aren't all there is to do here. Remember, we have like 250 days of sunshine with moderate temperatures every year. There's over 900 springs here throughout the state of Florida. The springs, which is where crystal clear water from the aquifer comes bubbling up through the surface at a balmy, that's cold, 72 degrees. But it really makes for a nice place to swim, whether you're swimming, whether you're tubing, snorkeling, kayaking, fishing, what in the world ever you want to do. Our springs are just a beautiful place to be. Florida has over 1 million acres of state forests and like 30,000 lakes, so beaches aren't the only thing to do here. Do you like fishing? Well, Central Florida has that too. Central Florida is a top destination for bass fishing in our freshwater lakes and rivers, and fishing the saltwater offers both deep water, offshore fishing as well as inshore fishing in Mosquito Lagoon, where I enjoy spending a lot of time. St. Augustine, over on the East Coast, is the oldest city in the United States and a wonderful place to spend a day or even a weekend. Of course, this surely is not a complete list, but rather just a hint of all that Florida has to offer. So I've addressed just a few of the benefits of living here in Central Florida, but we all know that every state has its downsides. As such, let's take a look at some of the biggest complaints that I hear about Central Florida. I'm confident that there are others too, so feel free to comment on them below. Now let's see about what people hate about Florida. Hurricanes are one of the biggest concerns of people that don't live here in Florida. And while they are a real thing and they can cause real destruction, they really aren't much of an issue if you live just 30 minutes inland. Because by the time they get that far inland, they usually lose much of their steam. If you live on the beaches, well, they're a bigger issue over there, but then again, that's the trade-off of getting to live on the beach. The reality is that I have to deal with the threat of a hurricane about once each year. Sometimes, like back in 2004, when we had 4 of them, it was a very bad year. But most years, like this year, there really wasn't anything at all. Unlike tornadoes, hurricanes give us several days' notice before they arrive, and if they're predicted to be serious, most of us either just fire up our generators and hunker down for a hurricane party or head to a different part of Florida for a few days to enjoy the sunshine up or down there. So I've downplayed my concerns about hurricanes from a local perspective, but they are still a real thing, and what if one does come our way? Well, the cost of insurance here in Florida is in the top 10 in the nation, unfortunately. Apparently, the insurance industry doesn't like hurricanes, and they also think we can't drive down here either. Maybe the cost of homeowners insurance is skewed by the many homes on our beaches, which are very, very pricey. But as an average, we're higher than the national average for both auto and homeowners insurance. I spoke earlier about the gorgeous Florida weather and how I haven't shoveled snow in eons, but that really only sheds light on half of our time here. In May through August, it's smoking hot. Although I'm still in the woods or on the water during these months, I'm usually not digging it. I often prefer to be in the air conditioning in a pool or a spring somewhere, or heck, even on the beach. Some don't come to Florida for this reason alone, but like in the winters up north, we adapt. Summer picnics are almost always centered around water, and our parks are still packed during the summer months, showing us that we all can live life, and even in spite of our complaints about the heat. Let's talk about bugs, snakes, alligators, and sharks. Yes, we have all these things. Unlike up north, you can have the cleanest house around, and you may still have a palmetto bug creeping around your kitchen at nighttime. Nobody likes them, including me. We have snakes too, but the reality is that I spend a good bit of time in snaky areas, and I really see snakes very rarely. Having lived in 4 different northern states in my life, I really don't believe the snake issue here is any different than it is up north. Now, if you get on to southern Florida, they have some invasive monsters down there that I don't even think of messing with. The biggest fear of wild animals down here is alligators. Yes, we do have a lot of gators, but the reality is that they typically don't hunt us down like prehistoric Jurassic monsters. They're in our lakes, but we're still fishing, we're still water skiing and swimming in those same lakes. And if you take a serious look at the data, your odds of being bitten by an alligator are next to none. Sharks, well, they're the same thing. There are some beaches that have more shark bites than others, and New Smyrna is one of them. But worrying about being bitten by a shark is kind of like being afraid of being electrocuted by the electrical device that you're watching this on. Yes, it could happen, but really? As you can see, Florida has plenty of advantages and disadvantages. I hope this video from a local's perspective has been helpful to you. Again, please comment below if I've left something off or if you feel I could have done a better job describing something here. If you'd like more information about Florida, either leave a comment below or reach out to me directly. Of course, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button. It's very helpful to me and my channel here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.